I want to bring in former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State Joel Rubin, along with my panel. Laura and Matt are still here. But I want to start with you, Joel, because CIA Director Mike Pompeo addressed the North Korea threat yesterday, suggesting that country is on the cusp. Let me play what he said.
And it is the case that they are close enough now in their capabilities that from a U.S. policy perspective, we ought to behave as if we are on the cusp of them achieving that objective.
What, I wonder, Joel, does that U.S. policy perspective look like for sure?
Well, Chris, it's great to be with you. And something seems to be getting lost these days in the discussion about North Korea, which is that there's no workable military option. In a sense, there's no salvation through invasion. We can't have that as our primary focus, yet the president seems intent on sending military option messages, and it's undermining our ability to have a diplomatic approach that pulls in our allies, that gets our Secretary of State empowered to figure out ways to bring the parties to the table, that gets the issues exposed in a manner where we can actually resolve them. So when Director Pompeo states this, yes, of course, we all know that North Korea is advancing its nuclear program, and that's why the urgency of diplomacy is so critical right now.
Well, Australia just got a letter from North Korea kind of ranting about President Trump and urging them to drop diplomatic relations with the United States. Australia's foreign minister says she sees it as a sign that economic and diplomatic sanctions are working. Do you agree?
Well, certainly the pressure is having an impact, and it is creating dynamics that we need to exploit and certainly explore at a minimum. So if this is an opening potentially, and if the Australians see one, great, then we should work with them to get to the table. We should work with our allies, work with Japan and South Korea to figure out what kind of pressure this is what this pressure is then creating in terms of the calculations of the North Koreans. But we're not at that stage, and we're in a sense giving off mixed messages. One day Secretary Tillerson says we're for diplomacy. The next day he's chided by the president for engaging, and the president essentially says you're wasting your time. So what choices do we really have in front of us? Not many. We need to make sure that we're exploring the diplomatic one.
Matt and Laura, I want to get real quick thoughts from you about